And surprise, I shaved my head again. Hello everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a different vlog today because I have a few things to talk about craft-wise and non-craft-wise, more important life sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm just being really relaxed about this today. I've not got my microphone, I've not got my ring light. Ironically, I did do quite an extra makeup today, you know, as you do, and surprise, I shaved my head again. So yeah, if you haven't seen that, my patrons saw that last week. I actually literally filmed for my patrons the same day I shaved my head. So yeah, and it's quite warm here today, so I'm hoping to keep this quite short. I'm already sweating. I've closed the door, I've turned my fan off. It's been very, very humid here in Adelaide, so yeah, I haven't been enjoying that very much. You can probably hear Marion, she is outside, but you can probably hear her anyway. But yeah, let's get on with it, and then I can get on to the stuff that I really want to talk to you all about at the end. So we'll talk about the crafting for now. First up today is just a bit of sock knitting. I have done a little bit of sock knitting, so I probably did most of this foot. I think I'd only just really finished the heel, I think, when I showed you last time. So I've done couple of inches on the foot of that, not a whole lot. We were watching a video the other night that I needed to see a lot more than just watching a television show or whatever, so I dug these out because I can knit socks without looking. So that was why these got some love, not necessarily because I want to knit. I'm not wanting to knit at all really at the moment, so that's kind of sad, but yeah, so these have had a little bit of work. They are my Mewstone Cave colorway and Lovebird Lane yarns, and yeah, that is about as much of that got done, because like I said, I have not really wanted to knit very much. My other knitting project that I have been working on a little bit, and I think I'm mid-row and I'm not going to fix it even though it looks like I've dropped a bunch of stitches. Let's pick those up. I have been working on my Waiting for Rain shawl. So I did a first, which side's the right side? This is the right side. So I've done my first patch of lace, as I said I probably would at the end of the last vlog. I've done some more stockinette, and I'm now currently, I think I'm going to have a few stitches that I need to correct. Currently just started my next block of lace. So yeah, that was the reason I dug out the sock, because I couldn't keep looking at my lace pattern for the Waiting for Rain while watching the video we were watching. So that's why the socks got dug out. Because the other thing I have been working on a lot is a lot of English paper piecing. So I didn't bring my little baggie with them all in over here because I'm not going to hold up these little teeny weeny little hexagons. But I thought I would show you some of the things that I have been stitching. I've been doing a little bit of quilting. I haven't been doing that much because it's been really, really hot. And I think it's more the humidity that's the problem. I don't really like the humidity. The heat I'm getting used to a little bit, but the humidity I really don't like, and we've been very, very humid. So I've been in here with the air conditioner going rather than out in the kitchen, which is where I usually do my sewing. Also, hence, that's probably why I've done a lot of English paper piecing. So if you're part of my Patreon, you would have seen some of this stuff last week. So but there is a couple of new things in here that may be of interest. So I'll start with this piece. This is a little piece of English paper piecing hexagons that I have done, and this is actually going to be a panel in a needle minder project bag, kind of. It's not really a bag, it's a folder, like a little needle minder folder. So this is going to be the panel that goes on the, like, it's on the flap on the top. So that was my very first piece of English paper piecing that I did. Then It was not the second. The second that I did was this little number here. This one I'm actually probably going to keep for myself. I'm going to use this on the front of a project bag. I'm going to make a project bag, and I have made a piece of patchwork fabric to go on the back. So this will be the little flower that goes on the front. I think this is called Grandma's Flower Garden pattern. So it's just like this rings of hexies. And to go with that, I made a little patchwork piece of using some of the same fabrics. So there we go. So you can see there's some matching fabrics in there. So this will be the back panel of the bag. This will be appliqued on the front panel of the bag. And I'm probably going to put like a calico base on it and line it. And that is the first bag that I will be making. Let me get organized here. The second bag will be very similar but different colors. So I've done this one that is more blues, and this whiter fabric here, it's like a bluey, it's like a frosty grey I suppose, was actually the fabric that was used for my advent calendar project bags last year. So I have that piece, and then I have this matching panel that will be the back of the bag. So that's that. That's what I was working on the weekend. Earlier in the week I did cut up, I purchased a couple of layer cakes a little while ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I started cutting them up and turning them into something. So I don't have a lot to show of these yet, but this is the double slice layer cake quilt. It was one that I found on the Missouri Quilt Co, so I'll put it up in the little iCard so that you can find it. And this was using a layer cake that I had that was called the Best of Morris. So it's William Morris patterns or designs. I'm not really sure how they... I don't think he was a fabric designer. I think it was paintings, and he was an artist, I think. But yeah, this is the Best of Morris layer cake that I purchased. So I'll show you a few squares. So basically it uses the entire layer cake, and you mix them up to make these squares. So yeah, like I said, I haven't gone too far. I've done all of the cutting and the piecing. I need to, because basically you have two parts to the block, so two of these, so they're basically the same thing, just rotated. So I've done all of these rectangles, and I just need to put them back together to make squares. So that is my progress on that quilt. So I've just got maybe 5 or something here. And the other thing that's going to be too big for me to show you, but I'll just show you sort of folded up, I made a jelly roll race quilt, and I did post it on Instagram today, and that was a very old photo. I was just playing with some editing, and yeah, just thought I might share it. But yeah, this is like a jelly roll race quilt, it is what it's called, and you basically just use a jelly roll and it stacks the colors. So you can see there's a couple of joins on here. And yeah, it's a really interesting construction. You just basically sew them all together end to end, and then you fold the whole strip in half, and then sew down, and then in half, and sew down, in half, and sew down, until you get, you know, basically, I think this is possibly like a double bed, like the top of a double bed. It wouldn't go over the sides, but it's like fairly big actually. But yeah, that is pretty much all that I have been working on. I haven't been working on very much, and I whipped through that in 9 minutes. So I don't know how long it is when it's been edited, but that is basically all I've been working on. And yes, I guess I can get on to the important stuff, the stuff that you guys probably need to know. Marion is exceptionally excited. Pretty much I am in a bit of a state of flux in my life at the moment, and that is what has caused a lot of what I'm about to talk about. Nothing is set in stone yet. I haven't made any set decisions, but I will preface with I had therapy this week. I spoke to my therapist about all of the tumultuous things that are going on in my brain at the moment, and her advice was do what you love. So this is kind of all coming out of how I've been thinking this week about what she said and what makes me happy. So yeah, basically she said, do what you love, do what makes you happy. So that is kind of where all of this is coming from, because I haven't been happy with my yarn business for a while. I've been doing it for 6 years and I've never really built any traction in the yarn business. It is not even really self-sustaining at this point. I am constantly having to borrow from myself, from, you know, my personal finances, to purchase yarn, to dye, to put into the shop, and then I have to repay my personal finances with what I earn from my shop. So going forward, I may or may not be continuing Lovebird Lane yarns. Now, I know for a lot of you that's probably pretty disappointing, and I'm sorry about that, because the problem is that I have some very loyal customers and I appreciate them so much. I really, really do. But that's not enough to sustain me. You know, a handful of people can't be enough to sustain a business. So as part of that, I think it's more going to be, it's not that I'm saying I'm never dyeing yarn again. It's not that I'm necessarily closing the business. I'm just going to be following my happiness for a while. I'm very, very fortunate and privileged that my husband earns an okay wage. It's not like we're rich by any means, but I'm a very good frugal budgeter. He gets an alright pay, so we can pay our bills, our house, food, the animals, all of that kind of thing. It's very tight, but we can afford it. And I'm aware of how privileged I am that I can make this decision to just pull back and say I'm going to follow my bliss, basically, as cliche and cringeworthy as that sounds. So I am aware of how privileged I am in that situation, but with my ongoing mental health issues, and it just never really gets better. It's different levels of good or bad, basically. Some day it could be really good, the next day could be really bad, the next day could be only slightly bad, the next day could be slightly good. So I'm never at some, I mean, I know emotions aren't constant anyway, but for me personally, it's usually a level of bad. I have good bad and bad and I usually oscillate between the two of those. So yeah, I've been feeling a lot of pressure to try and really force the yarn business, and that is just making me feel even more like a failure, because things aren't really growing, things aren't moving forward, they're just sort of staying where they are and where they always have been, really. I've never really gained too much traction. And I've gotten to the point where I don't want that pressure on me anymore. I can't cope under that pressure. It doesn't do my mental health any good. The way it makes me feel like I'm a failure all the time is not good for my mental health, and doesn't, I mean, feeling like a failure doesn't feel good to anybody. So for the moment, I'm still going to be on Instagram. I'm still going to be creating these vlogs, so that's not changing at all. However, you might have already seen, if you've been to my bio on Instagram recently, I have changed my bio. It is not so much business focused as it was. It's just back to my plain old, hey, I'm a yarn dyer behind Lovebird Lane Yarns, and I like to yarn, craft and quilt. And so I'm going to be pulling back from sort of the business side of things. If I create things like project bags, or if I do get the desire to dye yarn, I will, and it might go in the shop, it might just be for me personally. So yeah, I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if it'll last. I don't know if it will sustain. It could be that I could get to the middle of the year and decide I'm going to go get a casual job, and that will bring in a little bit of money, and I'm just going to abandon all of the business sort of stuff. I don't know. At this point in time, I do not know. So like I said, nothing is set in stone. Nothing has been entirely decided at this point in time. However, like I said, the vlog will remain going. My Instagram will remain going. I'm looking into even things like my Instagram. I want to change the look of it. I want to try experiments with some things, see if I want to try different ways of taking photos, different styling, different editing things, because I want to follow what makes me happy and what I love, and not try to satisfy algorithms and what's popular and all that kind of thing. I just want to do what I want to do. I want to be me. I don't want to be trying to, because I've had a lifetime of contorting myself to be what other people want me to be, and I think that is being brought up with my current situation with the business. Is like, I don't know what colors people want. I don't know whether they want bright. I like moody, so I dye moody, and maybe people don't like moody. Maybe that's the problem, but that's what I like to do. So yeah, I just want to kind of, I want to take the pressure right off, follow what makes me happy, and stop trying to chase and be on top of what other people want from me, and just do what makes me happy. So it may sound selfish, that's fine. I've had a lifetime of doing what everybody else wants me to do with my life, so I feel like finally, after leaving a very toxic situation, you know, almost 4 years ago, I feel like I'm finally at the point in my life where I'm going to take the reins and say, hey, no, Julianne's definitely in charge now. And yeah, like I said, that may sound selfish, but I'm hoping that for all of you guys who are here for the crafting, here for the pretty Instagram photos, I'm hoping that it will make that experience better for you, because I can focus more on doing that fun stuff rather than trying to flog myself to, you know, basically beating a dead horse over and over and over again and not really getting anywhere. So there we go. That's where it stands. So things like advent calendars for this year, I don't know. I will probably look at that again mid-year, see if that's something that I'm going to want to do. I do enjoy doing the advent calendar, so it could be that I will continue to do those this year. Just have a limited number, keep things easy for myself. You know, I may get a job, I may not. Yeah, so at the moment I'm kind of in a, it's almost, I almost feel like I'm in my late 20s again, and I'm having another Mercury retrograde, and I just don't know what I want from my life. So yeah. But for now, I'm going to take my therapist's advice and do what makes me happy. So there we go. That is the big, deep and meaningful, some real talk for you. Yeah, I hope you guys all understand, and I hope I haven't disappointed too many people. As I said, it's not set in stone. There may be random yarn updates. I have moved everything to Etsy as well, so if you want to find the shop, it is lovebirdlaneyarns.com now, and that will take you to Etsy. So if I do have anything to sell, it will be on Etsy, so please give me a follow over there if you want to be updated when I add new stuff to my shop. I've got quite a bit of yarn in there at the moment, so if you want to buy something now, go ahead. Like I said, it's probably not the last yarn that I dye and sell, but I am going to be pulling back. I'm going to be focusing on what makes me happy and trying to find what I want to do with the next part of my life. It could be, maybe I'm nearly 40. I'm gonna be 40 this year, can you believe that? So maybe that's what it is. I'm just a little bit in my head. I mean, let's face it, I'm always in my head, but yeah, getting to that milestone year, I guess. Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it, I don't know. But yeah, this vlog will still be staying the same. Hopefully I'll go back to having lighting and microphone, or maybe I'll just mix it up and record somewhere different every week, who knows. We'll do what makes me happy. So yeah, I think that's probably it. That's probably all I really wanted to say. This has gone on for a little while, probably about 20 minutes now, so I'm probably gonna stop there, I think. But yeah, like I said, I hope I haven't disappointed too many people. If you would like to support me in any way, I do have a Patreon. The link for that is down in the description if you did want to join. It's only a couple of bucks a month, just to help support me, because, you know, especially now that I'm not going to be dyeing any yarn or anything like that, I don't really have a source of income. So if you do like my yarn, if you do like my vlog, and you have a spare couple of bucks a month, please consider joining my Patreon. I'd love to have you. I have at least, you know, one bonus video a fortnight and behind the scenes photos, which I've got to put more of those up. I've got to do that a bit more often. But I guess until next time, I might just say goodbye. I'll say happy knitting, happy crafting, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.